Hi, loves. Now, I usually work traditionally, hence why I have this sketch here, but occasionally I like to go in afterwards and do a line art digitally, and that doesn't have anything to do with my light box. I usually like to work with my light box because it's easier for me since I could see what I'm doing, but I do occasionally do digital work. It's been a long time since I've done digital work, but it's not something that you can really easily forget when you do. I've been probably drawing since I was 8, mostly traditionally. I got into a 4 tablet from my mom as a birthday gift when I was younger, when it first came out, because I was really interested in drawing and it was something that I really enjoyed and it helped me a lot growing up. It helped me go through all of my little like moments, like just a bunch of stuff that happened, when you're growing up and going through just all of this stuff and drama and things like that. But it was great because it helped me to become more creative and more expressive because I was very quiet growing up. If you know me now and compare me to when I was growing up, you wouldn't think I was the same person because me growing up, I was very quiet, very reserved. I didn't say much. Didn't really care, and now I'm like always talking and I'm super loud and it's really crazy. Anyways, yeah, this program that I'm using is Corel Painter 2017. I've been using Corel for a long time. I started with like Corel Sketch or sketchbook or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but it was an old program. And then eventually went up into Corel Painter. Now this software is pretty expensive, but there are numerous different softwares that you can get that's a lot cheaper and just as good. Another software that I particularly like is Clip Studio Paint, or I guess I think the way that I found it was like searching manga studio or something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, it's Clip Studio Paint. I really like it. It's for people who are interested in creating comics and stuff like that, and like manga, Japanese comics and stuff like that. So I like that program as well. But this one is a long time favorite of mine, mostly because this is what I have most experience using. I just got Clip Studio Paint a couple years ago, but Corel Painter is something that I've been using for, I'd like to say, at least 6 years or so. At least 6 years. Because before I did have Corel Sketch, which was like, I had it for a while and they would give me a trial to check it out. Like, and then it ended up like being obsolete and they didn't have that version anymore, so I had to upgrade into Corel Painter. But yeah, I really enjoy this. There's a lot of different things that you can do. There's different layers and brushes, and you could create your own brushes, and there's effects. And for this, for me, I don't have a scanner, so how I did this was in the beginning, I'd take a picture of my sketch, and I'm very lucky because my phone camera is very clear, so it's always good if you are going to take a picture to have a clear camera and with, like just very good lighting and while you're taking a picture, and get your angles right, make sure the paper's flat and whatnot. And then if it isn't flat or if it's like bent, then you could always just erase that digitally if you want to, or if it's a piece that you don't really have to worry about, then you can erase it digitally or you could just edit it. So after that, I adjusted the hue and the tones and the brightness and the contrast, so then I could get this green, so then I could tell what's the canvas or the first layer versus the layer that I'm working on. I created another layer and then I'm drawing on top of that layer. And my middle layer, which is layer 2, is just a white background. So I could take a look. I'll turn on that layer and make it visible so then I could see where have I laid down my lines versus what's on the canvas. And usually I could change the opacity of the layer that I'm currently working on, just because I might want to like have light lines and not very dark lines, stuff like it depends on what I'm doing. But this is kind of how I'm doing line art, and this took me a very long time to do. I did take breaks in between, but it took me a while to do because it's been a long time. But I think it's really nice to get back into it and try to get more practice. I like the kaleidoscope feature in this, which you don't really see it being, well, you don't see it being used in this particular drawing that I'm doing, but maybe if I do more of these like line arts or like digital drawings, then I'd show you guys how it is. But yeah, it was really fun to do this, mostly because I actually had the time to work on it, which is very relaxing because it's a drawing that you've already sketched and you're just, laying down the lines digitally, which is nice because then you could always undo. You could push the undo button if you make a mistake, or you could just erase it, and then you don't have to worry. And you could copy and paste everything and stuff like that, so, which is good because if you're prone to making like a mistake, or you just want to see how it is, and then you decide that you don't like it, then you have that option digitally. Meanwhile, if you're doing art traditionally, you erase, but sometimes you have the eraser marks or the pencil marks and stuff like that. So that's always an issue. I mean, it does have its pros and cons. Like with my Intuos 4, I have to look at the screen to draw, but it's something that you get used to being a digital artist, unless you have a Cintiq, which is basically you could see where you're drawing. It has I think, a LCD screen that you could look at, and it's different. Which I don't have a Cintiq. I just have my Intuos 4, so I had to look at my monitor while drawing on the pad, which is nice because then I could get everything on my computer right away instead of having to scan it in or take a picture of it in, and I could record it using OBS. So it's nice that I have that option. I have both of these options. But I did start traditionally as an artist, and I love traditional art. So I also love digital art. They each have their own pros and cons, but I think I might practice more drawing digitally from now on. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.